The cream of the crop!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. Time for kind of a disturbing story, but it ends with a feel-good notion. As I gotta say, you know, I've talked a long time about police and saying that there's still some good ones out there. Believe it or not, OPP coming out to show that they're not as bad. Some of them still have their priorities in check, we'll say, when it comes to policing and upholding the law in Canada. If you haven't been following, and again, I wanted to talk about this earlier, but there's been so many things to talk about. I'm sorry for getting to this late, but Tim Hortons in Ontario is sparking an investigation. In fact, if we look over on Twitter here, Juno News reporting out that, sorry, I've maximized that. Police investigating a Tim Hortons manager over alleged teen marriage scheme. Police officers are investigating after a 17-year-old employee revealed that her manager at a Tim Hortons allegedly offered to pay up to $20,000 for the girl to marry her adult brother, who was 25, by the way. I'm going to show you the footage because Rebel News has done an amazing job following up on this one. But you've got Ryan Garrettson. A manager offered 20 grand to a 17-year-old girl to marry her adult brother. That doesn't sound like vintage Tim Hortons to me. Tim Hortons has recently brought back their vintage look to try and appease people to come in, to try and get them to come back and give them their business. Good old Singh Hortons. But now I think they need to bring back their vintage employees. I think that's what people are looking for. Now, Pierre Poilievre has talked about recently on a podcast about the, I guess you could say, advantage that employers are taking over low-wage workers with the temporary foreign worker program. I think it's less than that, or more than that. I think that what has happened here is you're bringing people into the country that are taking other people's jobs. They don't mind taking the lower wage because they get to come to Canada. They get to try and fight for citizenship, or at least, as you can see here, loopholes to their citizenship. 17 of them live in a house together. So they don't care if they're making, you know, the minimum wage or the standard increase. The employers care because they're taking advantage and stacking their profits on people that shouldn't be in the buildings. And when I say they shouldn't be, they're unqualified, they're not skilled, they don't speak English hardly. People have had enough. I can't even count how many videos I've had to show in the past of the health concerns from within Tim Hortons. I'm sure people have seen the viral videos going online. But let's head over to Rebel News. Now, they interviewed, I believe this is the uncle of the girl who was approached. It's disturbing because this is another part where I say that immigration has to stop. They're trying to find all these loopholes, and they expose that in this video, that you have people coming into the country that are now marrying, that don't even know each other, that are scamming the system to stay in the country. We've seen videos that Rebel has shown in the past in the Maritimes of proof that schools had opened to fast-track citizenship. This is just another scheme in their ways to stick around in the country to get their free handouts. I'm going to play little clips of this because it's very alarming. The text messages that were sent and what was offered. But again, stick around, folks, because it does have a good ending. And again, hopefully a better ending as the police are continuing their investigation. Let's take a look.
Going all right, and then she sent me a message with a bunch of screenshots that her manager, I guess I shouldn't say the name, her manager had sent her a message over Snapchat asking her if she had a boyfriend, which she had replied no.
So as he's iterating that, let's take a look here. It says, do you have a boyfriend? No. Why? Just wanted to know. Sorry, if you mind or married or something. It's a little blurry. They ask, what's your Instagram? And then he says, I want to ask you something if you don't mind. She said, yeah. He says, do you want an Indian boyfriend? She replies, how old? He says, 25. She says, I'm only 17. Here's where it gets worse.
Pay you $15,000 to $20,000.
So she says, I'm only 17. Is it someone I work with? He says, my brother. He's looking for a girlfriend. He need someone to get permanent residency in Canada. If you can help him with that, he can pay $15,000 to $20,000 too.
To get with him, which she replied like, no, this is illegal. So at that point, she was done talking to her manager. She went to her other manager then, and her other manager basically laughed her off, said this.
So they threw it under the table. It says here, she's not joking. She's been trying to find a woman for a while so that he can stay in Canada. He's a really nice guy. She said, this is illegal. I could go to jail for doing this. Actually, it's not. You are over 16, and with guardian's consent, it is totally legal. And maybe you might like him, LOL. Buddy, I don't think you realize how many people do that and don't even know each other and don't go to jail. She says, I don't know what to do about that. I just feel really uncomfortable. Don't be uncomfortable. She's asked everyone, LOL. She doesn't want her brother to have to go back to India. She says, I quit. This is illegal. And here's where it comes forward even further. After putting that, she shows, after the previous text, she shows how this is fraud. He says, I know of 4 people in the country that have done it. She says, it's illegal. Yeah, that only happens if you go to somebody and tell them, and they tell the cops. I literally know 4 people that have been married for 6 years that do not know the other person and have not been caught. I know one person that got caught, and that's because they told somebody and that person called the cops. That's the only way. She says, I'm quitting. I will not be a part of this. I have to keep a clean record. So good on her. Good on her. She then quit her job. Here's other records saying they did the same thing to my little sisters. Both of them, they are both of age, but it's still not right. She offered money and promised them all kinds of land in India if they agreed. Both my sisters obviously said no. And not only was it not taken seriously when it happened to them, but the responses of no came with lots of mistreatment by the managers mentioned above and the owner. Such a scary situation. As someone in the social services field and having lots of experience with survivors of abuse, human trafficking, it's scary to hear your own baby sisters have become targets. I'm so sorry to any of the staff in these 2 restaurants that have had to experience this, and I pray that something is finally done about it so it doesn't happen again. What a brave girl for coming forward and allowing her supports and family to reach out to the appropriate services for further assistance. It takes a lot of courage, and it does. And good on this individual for coming forward and saying something about it. But what's really funny about the whole situation is while this guy has allegedly been fired, Tamara over at Rebel News, she went inside to try and, push a viral moment. And what follows, folks, is nothing short of chef's kiss. As you see what's going on here with the police. God, I'm not even going to spoil it any further. Take a look.
To marry the manager's brother. So have a look at how that went. I heard I could make $20,000 if I wanted to marry the manager's brother here. Can I start that process?
I don't have any comments on that.
You have no comments on it? So is it true or not?
I'm not sure.
Pardon me?
No comments on that.
No comments. So you're saying it's potentially true then by not saying it's not true. No comment. Are you the manager?
No.
No?
She's the lady. She's okay.
That's the one that's offering $20,000 to marry her brother? You're not sure? No? Okay. Thanks anyway.
So you can see all the employees here, all temporary foreign workers or foreign workers who want to stay in the country, at least by my assumption. They called the police. They called OPP to come in and try, while we're being harassed, we're being attacked by this journalist who's coming in to question the disgusting behavior of our management. Here's what unfolds.
The owner called, but he's not here. So he's claiming that that gentleman who was trespassed came into the store.
Not the gentleman, the lady.
What lady?
The one who's running the
Yeah.
private
And
property.
what's wrong with that?
So he said that no one, like she's trespassing in the private property.
How is she trespassing?
Like he was like standing in the lobby.
She is an independent journalist.
Mhm.
She was never trespassed from this property, and she has her 100% rights to be here. Just because your boss doesn't like the fact that an independent journalist is in here video recording, that's not up to him. She has the right to do that.
I can call him and you can call.
I'm not gonna, no, I'm not gonna talk to him. You tell him that she has all the right to be here.
Okay.
I'm not gonna entertain that. You tell that to Mohammed. I'm sorry if I'm being crass with you, but you relay that to Mohammed that I'm not even entertaining that portion of it, of this lady being here.
If any media is
It doesn't matter. They have all the rights in the world to do it.
Matt, have you spoken to any?
So as you can see, there's protesters out front. Apparently this, I'm assuming the uncle here has already been trespassed. He may have come in, and rightfully so, come into the business to project his inconveniences and his peace of mind onto the staff, his dismays. But what you see here is people outside protesting. So obviously the police have been called numerous times, that these folks feel that they can just behave any way they want. They can offer these kind of things to people. They can promise the world to them and money and riches and just let us stay in Canada. But when it comes to reaping what you sow, well, we don't have to take responsibility for that. We don't want people in harassing us while we, serve them flies in their donuts and cockroaches in their coffee. The police setting them straight. There are still good cops out there, ladies and gentlemen, that understand the laws. And that's why I'm saying that when you see these bad eggs, when you see some of them that are behaving outside the laws, some of them that are acting within the good faith of the government, there are still good ones out there that uphold the law, that stand behind the law. And for an outlet like Rebel that is often accused and mistreated as a propagandist publishing agency by police, by government, it is very comforting to see this OPP officer stand fully behind Rebel News, saying she is a journalist. I haven't seen anybody in law enforcement refer to Rebel News as journalists in a long time, if ever. So it's very nice to see that happen. I hope they throw the book at these employees. I hope they weed them out and they give these jobs back to Canadian workers that actually want to make a difference, that want to make a living, that want to get out of their parents' basements. This is why I constantly said we have to deport. There's about 10 million people in this country that shouldn't be here right now. You've got scams being admitted here that, hey, people are now getting married to try and stay. They're figuring out the loopholes in our systems in order to stick around. Whether it's by applying through schools for citizenship, getting married, finding ways to stick around, we have to shut it down. I will commend Pierre Poilievre for coming out recently saying, look, we got to stop this. We got to stop bringing in asylum seekers. We have to stop the inflow of people, especially when people can't afford to eat. They can't afford their bills. But what I want to see is a politician coming out saying, hey, there's 10 million people that shouldn't be in this country right now. We need to get them in trucks and get them out of here. It has to happen. Like it or not, if you want the economy to change in this country, that's where the problem starts, is with the influx of people coming here when there's nothing to offer. Get them out of here. As Trump says, get them out of here. Get them in the trucks. Get them on a plane. Get them out of the country. Start taking care of your home. And start putting these people in handcuffs. Let me know what you guys think down below. Are you grateful for what the police said there? Were you happy to see Rebel News finally get some accreditation and a little bit of a pass when it comes to how they're usually treated? I, for one, thought it was great. It's always good to have a feel-good story at the end, at least. Terrible what happened to this young lady. Again, I hope the police investigate thoroughly and charges are brought forward, and if not, deportations. Let me know your thoughts down below. If it's the first time here, I hope this video's earned your subscription. Don't forget, as you hit that thumbs up and leave a comment, to hit the subscribe button and join me live here again, twice live, Wednesdays and Fridays here on the channel for Unhinged Fringe on Wednesdays, Friday Night Fringe on Fridays, where I'm joined by the beautiful Mrs. Fringe as we talk about everything that's happened this week in politics. We also talk to you guys outside of making these videos in the greatest YouTube community on the platform. I look forward to chatting with you guys in those live streams each and every week. It is my saving grace. I most importantly look forward to chatting with you this Wednesday and Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central here on the channel. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you on the next one.